Okay, and we're live yet again. Well, somewhat. Either way, we have an interesting matchup for you as the UAE is going to take on New Zealand. And I'm going to keep my voice down just a bit because it's technically nighttime while I'm recording this. But the game's going to show daytime. Of course, you get you get the gist. Either way, New Zealand's going to get possession to begin the game, and Johnson's going to run it to the 29-yard line. Both of these teams are kind of they're basket cases. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Schumacher, he gets the first down off of that reception. But like I said, both of these sides are technically basket cases. It's going to be interesting to see how they level out in comparison to some more of the Asian teams. We do know that in some of the earlier weeks, China got the opportunity to play against Qatar and they ran away from them. And then, just last week, well, Japan and Iran, they kept on trading blows. So it'll be really interesting to see how both sides not only adapt to each other, but how they're going to do against some of the other Asian teams. And then even beyond that scope, some of the other teams in other regions as well. Although as I say that, looks like New Zealand turns their 1st and 10 into a 2nd and 15, that lateral pass doing nothing. And Luongo's going to get stuffed by Altabari and lose another yard, 3rd and 16 for New Zealand. They had some good momentum coming upfield, but now it looks like they're going backwards just as fastly as they went upward. I don't even think that's a word. Either way, the 4th and 16 proves to be costly as New Zealand's going to have to bring out the punt team for this one. Fitz with a deep kick. And it's going to be a touchback. So now we get to see this UAE side take control for the first time of this game. Mo got him. Finds Al Samurai. And the UAE getting a first down immediately. Going deep, finds Al Janabi. It'll be back-to-back first downs for the UAE. This UAE side, I think it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt. Their offense is actually looking pretty good. Although, as I say that, Azad's going to get brought down in the backfield by Hartwell. Azad not going to go far, as there will be no gain. It'll be a 3rd and 14 situation for the UAE. In the corner, finds Khalaf, and it's a good reception. However, it's nowhere near the first down marker, and the UAE is going to be forced to punt on their first drive as well. Hardaway to return. He's not going to get super far, as New Zealand's going to have to take control from their 16. Donegan finds McBride, and it'll be a 2nd and 6 situation for New Zealand. So far, both sides, offensively, they're trying to create some space, but defensively, looks like both defenses are actually doing their jobs fairly well. Donegan, he gives it to Luongo. It's going to be stopped in the backfield by Hawass. And New Zealand, unfortunate again, this time they're not going to be able to get anything off of that drive. And Fitz with the deep punt. Finds Hayek, who's got some space to run. He's still running. And that's a great return for the UAE as Hayek manages to get it back to New Zealand's 39. An empty backfield for the UAE. Goes to the corner. It can't get picked up. It'll be a 2nd and 10. Got him. Has time. Dropped again by the wide receiver. Same wide receiver, I believe. Unsure who that is. Possibly Khalaf. And let's just double check. Actually, no, Godos. It might have been Godos. However, he has a receiver in the corner. No, and I think he was targeting Al Janabi on that one. And he can't get to that one. It'll be a 4th and 10. And New Zealand, they're going to get possession back off what should be a touchback. Some good accuracy by Wahed, but it's not going to be enough, as New Zealand will get that touchback. And Donegan with some time. Finds McBride. McBride, open space. He might be gone. No, he's not. It's a big reception indeed, but he could have gotten that touchdown. Who knows? Maybe the lag might have slowed him down. Donegan finds Porter. Porter almost getting to the touchdown marker, but still. A 1st and goal is better than nothing for New Zealand. Can they punch it in here? Thrown away by Donegan. Thrown to the corner. He was looking for Porter on that one, I believe. He can't get to that one. It'll be 3rd and goal. Only 3 yards. They might have to use the run game if Luongo can get it in there. And they go to him. He does. He puts a DB in the spin cycle and gets in the end zone. New Zealand's going to be the first to strike here. And it will be Arfelt. But PAT, he'll get that one to go. Deep kick by Arfelt. And Godos is only going to get to his 26. Azad. Not going to get super far. It'll be 2nd and 9. Azad again. He's going to get farther. They'll make it a 3rd and 6 situation. Only 3 yards on that rush. The UAE needs to think of something and think of something fast, as we are about to end the 1st quarter. They give it to Azad again. He's not going to get there. And that should be the last play of the 1st quarter, as New Zealand is currently on top, score of 7-0. Go ahead. It's a punt recovered by Hardaway. Hardaway sheds one tackle. Surprisingly, no lag on that one, but either way, New Zealand's going to take it from their 26. I'm going to apologize ahead of time for any lag. I got to get my computer going. Porter. He actually gets a pretty good reception, breaking 2 tackles there. And New Zealand working from their 45. Donegan to Luongo. Luongo, he had that first touchdown literally moments ago. And while his receiving yards may be negative, he still has the TD and the rushing yards. But now he's going to get stopped, this time by Nadir. And that earlier gain is going to be virtually erased. 3rd and 10 for New Zealand. They hand it off to Luongo again. Sneaks by, but he's going to be just short of a 1st down. Credit to that UAE defense, because they actually know when it's important to cancel out that running game. Azad stopped in the backfield by Lester. Pressure coming in the corner, finds Kalaf, breaks that tackle, and wisely runs it out of bounds. No, got him. Finds Conf again. Conf has some space. Can he beat him? No. But it's still a big gain whatsoever. Now the UAE might be able to tie things up before the end of the first half. Azad running around. Not going to get much. Only a gain of 1. And to Azad again, and he's going to lose that 1. Leicester gets to him in the backfield. 3rd and 10 brewing for the UAE. Pressure immediately. Conf just going to be stopped short. It'll be 4th and 1, but they are within field goal range. So Abaza is going to step up to take the kick. And despite the lag, they'll get it either way. And Johnson's going to be brought down at his 30. So New Zealand still has the lead just by 4. They might be looking to do some more damage before the end of the first half. Schumacher gets another reception. It's going to get a gain of 4. And it looks like linebacker Nadir for the UAE is going to be injured. Of course, that doesn't help, but either way. Luongo sheds 1 tackle, not going to sneak by. 3rd and 5. Donegan finds Johnson early. And New Zealand's going to work with another set of downs here. Still about 3 minutes left in the second quarter. I was about to say first. Luongo has some space. And it's a good run. They'll get a gain of 8. And just like that, another injury for the UAE. Al Turk is going to be out for a bit. Hopefully he can return. Pressure immediately. Donegan just gets rid of it. Smart blitz by the UAE. Of course, still a 3rd and 2 situation. They're not safe just yet. Smith. He'll get his first carry and he'll get the first down. And that might take us to the 2-minute warning. Donegan finds Luongo, who just barely steps out of bounds. But it's some good quick work by New Zealand as they're well within UAE's red zone right now. Donegan again, gonna go for the end zone, and no, it's gonna be dropped. He was targeting McBride on that one, who almost had that, but either way, it just escaped him. Donegan finds Porter, sheds that tackle. It'll be a 3rd and inches situation now. Donegan, quick throw. Somehow it is intercepted by Ismat. Another injury for the UAE, but either way, that's pretty big. Pressure immediately dropped by the receiver. New Zealand does still have all 3 timeouts, so if they really do want to do damage before the start of the second half, they can. Deep throw, dropped by the receiver. And just as I say that, Al Turk, the defensive back that just got injured a while ago, he's going to be back just in case. Azad's going to take the run, can't sneak by, and New Zealand wisely using some timeout. They still got 2 left. So they should have a decent minute to get something on the board, possibly. As Wahed with another deep punt. Hardaway doesn't really get a block. His blocker kind of just stood there. But New Zealand's going to work from their 36. Donegan has loads of time. Finds McBride. And it's a big reception. Although just as I say that, UAE is going to get another returning injury, Nadir. He got injured first. He's going to be back for the UAE. And just in time too, because it looks like New Zealand, off of just one play, finds their way back into the UAE's red zone. Donegan goes to the corner, finds McBride. New Zealand not going to use the timeout there. Looks like they're going to look for the end zone. And somehow Johnson makes the catch. He's not going to get there. And Jeter. It's going to be the first injury for New Zealand. Donegan throws it away. 9 seconds remaining. New Zealand's going to play it safe and go for it with field goal. Hartfeld from point-blank range. He'll drain that. So New Zealand puts themselves back up by a score of 7. Godos gets a fairly good return. The UAE is going to take it from their 25 with 4 seconds left. They probably have at least one good play before they get the reset. And Kalaf with a good reception. That will be the end of the second quarter. So far, it's been very close, but New Zealand with that touchdown in the first quarter, that's been the difference maker so far. Other than that, the UAE, they're down, but they're not out just yet. It'll be interesting to see what happens. As, again, it's nighttime while I'm streaming this, and then the next game, Brazil versus Argentina, it's also going to be a nighttime game as well. Godos gets obliterated. But he does better on that return as they're going to get to the 27. The UAE needs to answer back. Azad trying to sneak by, only going to get a yard for that. Azad again. He's going to get an extra 3 for that run. 3rd and 6 brewing for the UAE. No, got him. Azad virtually open. And he'll get the first down there and then some. Azad again. Good run there. Gain of 7. New Zealand's defense starting to get a bit complacent as they're going to go full man coverage. Short pass. Al Samurai gets another reception, and it's another first down for the UAE. And to gain a 3 on that rush. Gonna go for the end zone. Finds Godos. And the UAE is on the brink of tying things up right here. As Abaza just needs the chip shot. And he'll get it to go. We got a new ball game at 10-all. Hudson on the return. Decent return. He'll get to the 29. And now New Zealand finds themselves back, well, back in the thick of it with the UAE. Luongo skating around, only going to get a yard on that run. Luongo again puts one defender in the spin cycle, gets the first down. And looks like New Zealand's injury cheater. He's going to be back for the O-line. They're going to give it to Luongo again, 3rd time. Only going to get a yard. Donegan. Donegan's going to go deep somehow. Some way, Jelavic manages to snag that one. And New Zealand, well within the UAE's red zone again. Luongo. It's a decent run. He's going to get 3 yards on that. The UAE's got to be careful on those big pass plays. With any given time, I think Donegan really knows what he's doing. He can really find his receivers easier. And he sure did that just there as Jelavic. He was still going on that run. Look for the end zone. That almost got intercepted. And New Zealand's going to have to go for the field goal here. Harfeld on the kick. And he'll get that one. So New Zealand back in front, just barely. And he got a good lag. Gross. Only going to get to about the 20. And got another injury for New Zealand, but Hudson should be expected to make a return. Azad trying to sneak by, only going to get a yard. So a 2nd and 9 for the UAE. In the corner, finds Khalaf, sheds that tackle. He'll finally get stopped at the 40. With some time, can't find it. I was unsure which receiver he was targeting, but he had two and neither of them could get to that ball. Pressured immediately, gets it off somehow, and Azad's there to claim it. And it'll be a gain of 5 on that improvised play. Pressure mounting, it's going to go deep, and Godot somehow snags that one. And going to be some added yardage on the penalty. As the UAE's now, well, breathing down the necks of New Zealand here. Azad. Awfully close, 2nd and goal. Oh, got him with time. Gets it off, and no one's going to be there. 3rd and goal. The UAE's literally on New Zealand's doorstep. They got to be able to convert here. And he overthrows the receiver, so the UAE is going to be forced to take a field goal here. And that will tie things up. Of course, I don't think that was what they were going for, but that's what happens. So they'll put us back in an even standing once again, 13-all. Either way, the UAE should have converted on that one, and hopefully that doesn't come back to haunt them later on. Johnson trying to sneak away. He's going to get to the 29. If there's one thing we've seen with this New Zealand team, it's that given any time, when Donegan has some time in the pocket and those wide receivers get open, he's definitely he's gonna go for the haymaker. Donegan to Luongo, Ismat's right there to say no. That'll be the end of the 3rd, as now we're all even. 13 up with 1 quarter of football left to play. And it's going to be interesting. This first one, oh boy. Donegan trying to thread the needle there. And the receiver's not going to get to that. It'll be 4th and 6. Hudson will be available for New Zealand. And they're going to need him as the punt is going to give the UAE possession again. Azad trying to sneak by. He's only going to get a yard. Assad, they're going to give him a straight snap, and now he's going to be brought back for 2 yards by Lester. I think that might be his third TFL for today. And it's overthrown, and it'll be a 4th and 11. New Zealand's going to reclaim possession. Hardaway, not going to get far, but it's already decent position for New Zealand, as they're going to take it from their 39. Again, this New Zealand squad, they got to be careful with some of their passes. But given the time and space, Donegan's going to go for it. And just like that, McBride, I think he got slowed down by the lag there. But either way, it's a big reception for New Zealand. Donegan to Luongo. Luongo probably going to get 2. No, just 1 yard. New Zealand still in some fairly good positioning, but can they finish is the main question. Donegan going to the corner. Nothing doing. 3rd and 9 situation. Luongo trying to hit the gap and go up the middle. He's going to get stopped immediately. So New Zealand's going to settle for another field goal. Been a lot of field goals, but hey, not complaining. If it works, it works. But field goals aren't necessarily how you win games all the time. You got to get the touchdowns to build the bulk of your meat. You know, field goals are just in case. Of course, that's just how it worked out. And Godos is going to get the return. Decent return. They're going to start at their 24. So for the UAE, you're going to question, do you want to go for the win? Do you want to tie it back up? What's the main objective here? Of course, I do believe they're going to want to go for the touchdown. They're going to want to go in front by at least 4. But if they do that too early, New Zealand's going to have a chance to at least make up the difference. Azad, he's going to get stopped immediately by Travis, and it'll be a 3rd and 7. The UAE is going to be in a bit of crunch time right here, as they can't afford to give New Zealand possession again. Assad not going to get anywhere close to that 1st down marker, 4th and 4. Deep kick. Hardaway, some extra lag. He's going to be stopped at the 29. Meanwhile, over in New Zealand, of course, the touchdown finishes the game. The field goal puts the UAE still in reach. And Johnson, somehow, some way, manages to snag that one. I don't believe that. New Zealand, again, with those big pass plays to get within the UAE's red zone. Johnson right in front. And he'll get a 2nd 1st down. And the UAE's in trouble. Donegan to Luongo. Luongo, good run there. He's going to get a gain of 7 for that one. Donegan brought down by the blitz. And Kadri is going to erase most of their gains. It'll be 3rd and 10. Donegan, another blitz coming. Smith gets the reception, but he's not going to get anything. And New Zealand's going to have to settle for another chip. Arfeld drains that one, and New Zealand's ahead by a score. But don't count out the UAE just yet. They still can win this. Deep kick by Arfeld. Godos. And he gets a better return than last time. This time they're going to start at their 27. Remember, he was the one that was in the end zone for the UAE. Hopefully they can find him again. And it's going to be dropped. Not the start you'd want if you are the UAE. Al Samurai gets another reception, but only 3 yards. And the UAE's got to really run and gun here. 2 minutes. This might take us to the 2-minute warning. Will, and it's intercepted by Reese. That is costly. And you got to feel for the UAE here as New Zealand. They really just need anything to put this one to bed. Donegan has time, overthrows the receiver, and the clock's going to be stopped 1:54. And credit to Donegan, he's had quite the game. 350 plus yards is nothing to scoff at as Johnson finds the end zone. And that should do it. And New Zealand's going to add insult to injury. They're going to go for 2 here. Luongo walks in, and he'll make it 27. Well, credit to the UAE. They hung in there for quite a while, but New Zealand, well, they had the opportunity to put this game to bed, and I think they just took it. Oh, got him. Short pass, finds Azad. The UAE is going to use the timeout. I really don't think there's much they can do here. They might just be playing for consolation now. Oh, got him. Overthrows his receiver. Will be a 3rd and 4 situation. Oh, got him. Finds Al-Janabi. Al-Janabi! Al-Janabi, he's free, and he'll get a touchdown for the UAE. Al-Janabi sneaking away from his defender just there. And the UAE makes it 20-27. It is still a 1-score game. I expect an onside kick, and yes, they're going to take an onside kick. They need to recover here because they still have life. And they do. Hayek. The UAE might just be able to pull it off. They might be able to force an overtime. Mogadam up the middle. Finds Godos. Clock is still running. They're not going to use their timeouts just yet. They got to be really careful with their pass decisions, though. Got him. It's going to be dropped. I believe he was looking for Al Samurai on that one. Not 100% sure. But there is still life in this UAE team. Khalaf gets the reception. Timeout UAE. They have 1 remaining, 3rd and 6. Empty backfield. Let's see what they have planned. Gonna air it out, and Khalaf gets the reception. No timeouts for the UAE. They're within New Zealand's red zone. It's going to be close. Can they force the overtime? Mogadam gets rid of it just in time. And the clock's going to be stopped at 41 seconds. I believe this UAE team knows they need to find the end zone within the next few plays. Mogadam with some time. Finds Godos again. And the UAE, they might be able to force an overtime at the death. And the kick is up, and we have a new ball game once again. Don't count out this UAE team, as man, they are really pulling out all the stops on New Zealand. But New Zealand still has plenty of time to do something here. It's a scuffed punt, scuffed return. Johnson, and he's tired. He's not going to get much on that. And New Zealand with 33 seconds. Realistically, they just need a field goal. Luongo is going to get stopped immediately by Altabari. New Zealand takes the timeout. The UAE's got to be very careful because with time, Donegan can find a receiver. Luongo going to go on the outside. Timeout New Zealand. 25 seconds left. Donegan again. Finds Johnson. Is that going to be enough? Timeout New Zealand again. 4th and 1. They might have to... No, they're going to punt. That is an interesting decision if I've seen one. Bit of extra lag, because why not? Hyatt, find some space. And with 10 seconds to go, can the UAE pull off the comeback of the century? Using that very loosely, because of course it's not, but either way. Well, got him. It's dropped by the receiver. I will tell you, if the UAE manages to steal this game, Al Janabi, you got to credit him with the save, because man, he found some space and he kept running with it. 3 seconds to go. This might be the last play before overtime. Oh, got him. Finds Godos, but he's going to be tackled almost immediately. And now we have overtime. Of course, there's the overtime rules. I'm not going to read all of that. Yeah, I'm a commentator. I'm not a teacher. So we have overtime. New Zealand, the UAE, knotted up at 27 apiece. What should be the 5th period, quote unquote, unless this goes to 2 OT. Please don't go to 2 OT. Got a flag on the play. It's going to be on Jeter. And New Zealand's already in the hole, 1st and 15. Donegan drops back. Luongo catches out of bounds. It will be 2nd and 8 for New Zealand. And man, I thought they had this game in hand, but the UAE, they surprised me there. They got 2 touchdowns in quite the amount of time. New Zealand's defense essentially flat-footed there. And of course, if they lose this game, well, I don't know who's to blame. Johnson's not going to be able to get to that one. It'll be 4th and 2. New Zealand, they're going to punt. Very risky decision here as the UAE, they're going to get the opportunity to take this game home. A win for the UAE here makes Arab nations go 2-1 in the IAFA as of now. I also got to get my computer clean because this lag is not really cool. Just being honest. Azad sneaks by. No, he's not. 3rd and 6. Oh, got him. Gonna go to the corner, overthrows his receiver, and the UAE is likely gonna have to punt this one. Hardaway, he's gonna get to the 34. I really hope this doesn't bleed into the next game. There is a decent chance it might, but probably it should not. I usually schedule these games at least 2 hours ahead. Luongo gets the 1st down, but we got a flag, and it's going to be on Naseri as well. Although that's going to be declined, 1st and 10 for New Zealand. Donegan has time, finds McBride. McBride with some room gets the 1st down and some. And New Zealand within field goal range. They just want to get a little bit closer so Arfield can take it with ease. Luongo has some space, and Luongo, he's going to get to the 19. New Zealand really needs to play it safe. They just need the field goal, and they're actually going to go for a touchdown. Donegan going for the corner. Can't find the receiver. It's going to be just a bit wide. 2nd and 10. Smith trying to go for a fullback sneak. It's usually a QB sneak. I know about that one, but either way. Luongo gets the first down. And New Zealand really wants that touchdown. Donegan, he got a flag on the play. Against New Zealand, Hutchison gets the holding. It'll be first and long instead of first and goal. Well, I guess still first and goal on there. But first and 19. They hand it to Luongo, who's trying to sneak by. He's not going to get far. Second and 17. Luongo is going to only get a yard on that one. Third and 16. Donegan with time goes to the corner and not going to find anyone. And New Zealand's probably going to have to settle for that chip. Arfeld's going to miss that one. Can you believe that? That is costly. UAE has plenty of time to take this one home. Overthrown. Got him up the middle, finds Godos, and Godos, he is empty, he is gone, he's been immaculate all game. Touchdown for the UAE. And if anyone was going to end that game, of course it was going to be that man. 3 touchdowns on the day. Wow. The UAE. Can you believe that? That was a comeback. That was quite the comeback. I'm at a loss of words. I did not expect it, but the UAE steals the game at the death, and Godos, he's not listed as the game MVP, but he's going to be one of my game MVPs. Big mention to Al Janabi on the save, because that touchdown is probably what brought them the momentum. And wow. Well, I still have one more game to broadcast here. Brazil versus Argentina is going to be next. And this has been the NKhub. I will see you in just a little bit. Well, I mean, I got to hurry up and get this recorded because I need to go to sleep.